Look at me. Let me see the hiccups.
You can't see it right now.
Why can't I see the hiccups?
And I did it again. I don't know what.
All right. Well, there's Gilda. Gilda's doing great. Same with the plant on top that I put that in. Okay. So we are going to get started on our lab experiment. I have a cat who's playing with my little setup here. Now remember, we were gonna measure out very, very carefully tablespoons. So tablespoon, I've got a great one. I'm just gonna sneak in here. So that's my 1 tablespoon. And the very first step we're gonna do is we're gonna mix 1 tablespoon of vinegar. Vinegar is such a lovely smelling chemical. But the cool thing about vinegar is that it's an acid, an acetic acid, but it's a cool, it's a very weak acid in terms of we can eat it and put it in our foods, and it can touch our skin certain ways. Now I'm gonna put the vinegar in my clear bowl just so that you can see what I'm doing. There was 1 tablespoon of vinegar, and I'm gonna put 2 tablespoons of milk now. I forgot to get the milk out. So I use the same spoon, it's okay. But 2 tablespoons of milk, there's 1, and there's 2. Now something really, really cool happens. And if you're a fan of the squeaky cheese, or if you ever heard of cheese curd, or if you ever had sour milk and it curdles, you're gonna notice something. So I'm not gonna stir it yet, but I think you can see that it's starting to clump a little bit. Ruby, you still got the hiccups? Cool. All right, because we were talking about hiccups the other day. So now I am going to stir it slowly, and then I'm gonna see more of the curdling. So curdling just means the milk is starting to like separate and solidify, and it's no longer a beautiful white looking drink, and I am not breathing through my nose right now because this part stinks. Oh yeah, it does. Kind of smells like puke if you've ever had a younger brother or sister, and anyways, let's not get into that. We're gonna spread. The next thing is we're going to try to capture just the solid stuff in that. And so that's what the paper towel and the strainer are for. And I'm going to put the paper towel in the strainer. I'm just going to use a single one. So I kind of, I'm going to put it like that. And I'm going to pour it slowly in like this over the sink, and just to get rid of all the liquidy acid, the vinegar, and what's left of the milk. And so I can capture just the solid curd part. So, how you doing, Ruby? Still got the hiccups? Oh, I got Gilda wants to see here, so I'll just move the vinegar around. All right, so I'm pouring this in.
Go out the backyard.
I see my son running around the backyard right now, having fun. That's good. I poured it in, and I noticed I left some of it behind in this little jar. So just showing you the solids left in the jar, but I think I'll be okay. And now I'm just gonna wait until the liquid goes through the strainer. I can kind of shake it a little bit like this. And my goal is just to get the white solid substance, the curd, behind. When it starts to when it stops dripping, and you still think that, it's still dripping a bit, so just kind of work it around a little bit. What are you eating? You eating some meat? All right. How does this look, Rube?
Good.
You gonna eat some? All right. So the next thing we're gonna do is I'm gonna try to get another piece of paper towel, or I could fold this over a little bit and just kind of squeeze it. If I squeeze out the liquid a little bit, the only problem is it starts to spread the white gooey stuff. It's solid, but it's still kind of gooey. It starts to spread it around. That's okay. I'm gonna use a spoon eventually to scrape it all off. All right. So when you're done with it, it'll look something like this, like a pasty goo, almost like a slime, which is kind of cool. All right. So now I'm gonna use the plate, my Dora plate. Can you see that? I'm going to use my plate and I'm going to slowly scrape. I don't know if you can see this. I keep stepping back so I can make sure I got everything on camera. I have a pretty sweet camera set up right now. I'll show you that in a second. All right, so I'm scraping this stuff off. Now this process is called, we'll get into that in a second.
Daddy,
Yeah?
I remember the same thing by Ethan.
What?
You making the same thing by Ethan?
Yeah. I am doing what we did the other day. Was that fun?
Mm-hmm.
But don't say anything because my students don't know what's gonna happen. Okay? Don't tell them what is gonna happen. Did you tell them?
Yeah.
All right, so I'm scraping this stuff off a little bit. Now, we say that the acid activates something in the milk. It acts as a catalyst. The catalyst is something in chemistry we say that helps a reaction work. And what this acid does is it tells these little molecules in the milk to line up. Hey, line up and join hands. And that's exactly what they do to make plastic. They take this byproduct of oil and they add a catalyst, they add an acid or something like that, and suddenly, just like if you're making slime and you pour in the activator or whatever, the molecules line up a certain way and hold hands. It's really cool. So as a material, once you're done this, you'll have this goo in this white goo, and it's all solid. And you're supposed to take it in your hands. It's kind of the gross part, but you'll be okay. I promise. You'll wash your hands afterwards. Chris, are you doing this on the floor in your room? You might want to clean up a little bit before. You might want to put some bags down or something. But mine's still a little bit like got liquid. Like it's not quite as dry or as sticky as I want it. So I used another paper towel. So that's the third paper towel. And I'm just dabbing it. I'm dabbing it. I'm not squeezing it too much because I don't want to have to scrape this stuff off there. But I'm dabbing it. Now I'm rolling it just like a snowball in the snow. And my daughter's got the front door wide. Close the door! Thank you. All right, so the fun part, the whole thing's fun, but now I have this and it's gooey and it's kind of slimy, and I got this just by combining a little bit of milk and a little bit of catalyst, a little bit of vinegar, and they say to shape it in like a flat disc, like a hockey puck, so it's gonna have some thickness to it. And we're gonna put it on a plate. I'll probably use the Dora plate again. I'm gonna wipe it off a bit because it got a little gooey. So here's my little hockey puck, and yeah. So this is day 1, or day 0. I just gave birth to this piece of interesting plastic. And believe it or not, you've got some of this type of plastic. This is a real plastic that they would use to manufacture objects. And believe it or not, there are things like buttons, certain beads, and knitting needles that are actually made this way. So you can think about how way back in the day people were knitting sweaters and stuff like that, and how did they get plastic? Well, it was as easy as somebody discovered that mixing vinegar or wine or something with milk created this stuff that could be shaped. That's another thing. So I could shape this. I'm shaping it as a hockey puck right now just for fun, but I could probably shape this like in a ring or in a straight needle or something like that, and we'll see how if it hardens and what it looks like later. Talking too much. Can you tell that right there I was shoveling my kids like their slide and stuff, and I hit something, and the shovel like stopped short, and the shovel went boom, and I got a big fat lip. Anyways, all right, so talking way too much. It's 12 minutes of video. I hope we can do this. We're gonna let it dry for a few days, and yeah, miss y'all, and hope we're having fun. Okay, see you later. Say goodbye to Gilda. Here, I'll give you a little close up of our fish here. There. It's looking great, eh, that guy? Next to that's her boyfriend there. Okay.